catapult us into change, right?
Absolutely.
So about 10 years ago, when I was moving across the state with my husband and 3 sons, the last thing I did was pack this very cactus into the car. I think it's pretty ugly. I gave it away, and somebody gave it back years later. I stopped watering it. That's why it's very, very brown. So, you don't have to water cactuses long. But, I mean, yeah, they don't require a lot of water, but I really didn't water it. That's why it's brown. So I decided a couple months ago when I was going to share this story today that I would keep it. But I think when I'm done with today, I'm going to get rid of it. If anybody wants it, you're welcome to it.
Just don't give it back to her.
Yeah, just don't give it back to me. So it was much shorter then. It was about half as high. But it was still awkward to pack in the car. So that's why it was the last thing. And I didn't want the dirt to spill out. It was my son's cactus. Not my son Robert, although he did inherit it because the one who bought it initially didn't like it. So he gave it to Robert for a while. So I didn't want the dirt to fall out. And I decided that the best place for it was between my husband and I on the console up front. So we were so glad to be packed and ready to just take this trip. We were off to a new land. All was good. And my husband and I could finally relax and chat. And we had a nice long drive. And as we were talking, he extended his hand to grab the gear shift and got the cactus instead. So, that was interesting. Not the good place to put the cactus, but I was not thinking. I wanted the cactus to be safe. And so there we have it. So, I unintentionally hurt my husband, and I must admit I did have to muffle a laugh. But we do that. We unintentionally hurt people sometimes. And sometimes we are unintentionally hurt by others. You can relate? And sometimes the hurt is intentional. We hate to think of that, but that's the case. So when we have those kinds of experiences, negative self-talk really grows. It festers during that kind of interaction. And when that negative self-talk grows, we become so critical of ourselves. We are certainly not interested in reaching out to other people and befriending them because we feel so yucky. It's like we just want to hide in our pockets. We just think it's safe. It appears to be safe, but it's very dark and small and limiting. It's not a happy place, really. We might think it is. But the Lord our God wants us to love Him with all of our heart, mind, and soul, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. So if we have all this negative self-talk going on, and we're so critical of ourselves, how can we love our neighbor as ourself? And if we don't have the issue with negative self-talk, maybe we just don't know our neighbor. So how can we love our neighbor if we don't know them? For example, Julie just lives a stone's throw from me, and I just met her in February. So it's hard. It was hard for me moving into a new area to meet people. I tried, Julie, didn't I? Where are you? For a couple years. Anyway, I don't want to make you look bad. You're wonderful. And I'm so glad I met you. So our negative self-talk can really wear us down. Jen, come and tell us about our getting acquainted story. How was that for you?
Take this one.
Yeah.
This work? Yeah. So, Julie's talking to you about negative self-talk, not reaching out into relationships with others. Get over here.
Well, we might squeal. That's
Oh,
why.
that's why.
I know.
Okay.
I'm glad.
We're all
I
technically
know.
challenged if you haven't noticed
Should we,
yet.
should we try to get as close as we can?
There we go. So she's talking about negative self-talk, what we tell ourselves that makes us isolate ourselves because it creates discomfort to go out with other people. You know, it keeps us, it's safer at home in our pockets. And so there was a time when I was at home in my pockets, in my world, on my yellow couch. And I knew of Joy because we were in homeschooling groups together, but I didn't know Joy. I knew her from a distance. And when I would see Joy from a distance, everything in me screamed, you don't want to get to know that woman. Do you think I didn't want to get to know that woman because of Joy? No. It was because of me. Joy was wonderful. I perceived her as peaceful. I didn't feel peace. I wasn't peaceful. In my house wasn't peaceful. I was striving for peace, and she was what I wasn't. So I didn't want anything to do, excuse me for saying this, with that. No! Like everything in me screamed, no, you cannot, I just turned it off. You cannot spend time, did that work?
No. Here, take this.
With that woman. So we went to a retreat, and that's where I found out she was going to be in my cabin. I said, oh no! But the truth is that when I went to the retreat and spent some time with Joy, she personified everything I wasn't. Peaceful, kind, loving, quiet, submissive, sorry, that was a negative word. But honestly, that's what I perceived her to be. And I'm loud and obnoxious, and I'll jump my boobs, and I'll do nothing. I'll be crazy, we are like the opposite. Such the opposite. And I think we all cry out for some of the things that we don't see in ourselves that we see in others. And that's how it was with me and Joy. So when we spent some time at the retreat, I had to get over myself, which I did, and I realized that she was amazing, and I could still be in the same space with her, and it was okay. I didn't learn it all that weekend, but over the last 2.5 years, we've been spending time together in Core. I have come to find out that I can assimilate some of that stuff from her. We can soak up the good things from each other. We can dig out the treasure in each other. And so now, I might say that I do have a little bit of her peace now. We share pieces of ourselves, and we start to look at each other. And when I saw Joy before, I saw things that I didn't have. And now I see Joy, and I say, oh, those things are wonderful. I get to brush up against that person. That's awesome. We get to share that. That's great. So, that's my Joy story. Do I need this anymore?
No, I don't think so. We need to clap, ladies. So, yes, this retreat that we went to, I heard that Jen was there, but I didn't see her. And though she was standing pretty close to me, I looked a little closer, and sure enough, it was her. But I did not recognize her because she had a calm face. And I was accustomed to seeing her with a red face yelling at her son.
That's me. That was me.
Yeah, that was you.
That was me.
That was you.